When you imagine Antarctica, what comes to mind? Brutal snowstorms, penguins, an unforgiving terrain that's home to some of the world's most dangerous predators and extreme temperatures? Well, if you're like most people, you probably don't associate peace with this isolated continent. But between 1914 and 1917, this icy land was host to a daring adventure, one that pushed the boundaries of human endurance and left an indelible mark on history. Brea, our story begins with Ernest Shackleton, a name that echoes through the corridors of polar exploration. Born in Ireland in 1874, Shackleton's adventurous spirit led him to the seas early in life. By the age of 26, he had circumnavigated the globe, but his heart yearned for more. He dreamed of exploring the unknown, of venturing where no man had gone before. His gaze turned to Antarctica, a frozen wasteland that had captured the imagination of explorers for centuries. In 1914, Shackleton found himself at the helm of the Endurance, a ship purpose-built for the challenges of Antarctic exploration. The mission was audacious, to be the first to cross the legendary 100 degrees east longitude, a feat that had eluded explorers since the discovery of Antarctica. With a crew of 28, Shackleton's team set sail from London on August 8, 1914. Their hearts filled with adventure and their minds focused on the challenges ahead. But as fate would have it, the Endurance would become trapped in the frigid waters of the Weddell Sea, locked in a battle against the relentless grip of thick sea ice. For 8 months, the ship remained imprisoned, battered by the icy forces of nature. And during this time, the men on board faced the harsh realities of their situation. The initial excitement of the journey gave way to the sobering truth. They were stranded, cut off from the world, with little hope of rescue. Shackleton, however, refused to succumb to despair. His leadership qualities shone through the gloom, guiding his crew with a mix of strategy, determination, and unwavering optimism. But the ordeal was far from over. The Endurance, weakened by the unforgiving ice, began to crack. The men were forced to abandon ship as the vessel that had been their lifeline slowly slipped beneath the waves. Now, picture this. You are one of the 28 men stranded in Antarctica, the icy winds lashing against you, the deafening silence broken only by the creaking of the ice around you. You huddle with your companions, sharing meager rations as the sun dips below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows across the endless white expanse. Hope, like the horizon, seems distant. What do you do next? Do you wait passively for a rescue that may never come, or do you take charge, making tough decisions that could mean the difference between life and death? This is your moment, a testament to the power of human resilience, the unbreakable spirit that resides within us all. The sinking of the Endurance was not the end. It was merely a new beginning fraught with danger. The men were now forced to camp on the drifting ice floes, battling the elements, hunger, and the ever-present threat of hypothermia. Every step they took was a gamble. Every decision they made could mean the difference between life and death. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The men, once robust, grew gaunt, their bodies bearing the brunt of the unforgiving Antarctic conditions. Shackleton, ever the leader, shared in their hardships, his own health deteriorating, yet his spirit unbroken. The men hunted seals and penguins for food, a precarious existence that tested both their courage and their resolve. As the sun began its slow retreat, the temperature plummeted, plunging them into near-freezing conditions. Huddling together for warmth, they dreamt of warmer days, of a rescue that seemed like a distant fantasy. But Shackleton refused to let despair take root. His leadership was a beacon in the darkness, guiding them through the darkest moments. He organized shifts so that some could rest while others kept watch, always vigilant for any sign of danger or rescue. Every hour was accounted for, every task was crucial in their fight for survival. But the vastness of the Antarctic, the sheer immensity of their surroundings, was a constant reminder of their isolation. The howling winds seemed to mock their plight, carrying with them the biting chill of the endless expanse of ice and snow. It was in these moments of solitude that the true strength of the human spirit shone through. The men wrote in their diaries, pouring their hearts out onto paper, recording their thoughts, their fears, and their hopes for the future. These diaries became more than just chronicles of their ordeal. They were lifelines, anchors to sanity in the face of despair. Through their writings, we see the raw emotions that they endured: despair, the hopelessness, but also the camaraderie, the courage, and the will to survive. Yet even in the depths of their despair, there were moments of levity. Small acts of kindness, shared jokes, stories, and songs became their solace, their ways to keep their spirits high in the face of adversity. Imagine, if you can, the scene. A group of men huddled together on an ice floe in the heart of the Antarctic winter. The air is thick with the smell of salt and snow, the sound of the wind echoing across the frozen landscape. Suddenly, a seal breaks the surface of the water, offering a glimpse of life amidst the endless white. This is their reality. Day in and day out, they hunted for food, battling the elements and facing the risk of hypothermia. The icy grip of the Antarctic seemed determined to test their limits, to push them to the brink of endurance. Shackleton, ever resourceful, led the hunt, his experience and knowledge guiding them. Each successful hunt was a victory, each seal or penguin providing sustenance that was vital for their survival. They used every part of their catch, a testament to the practicality that was essential for their survival. But it wasn't just about the hunt. It was also about the hope that each successful expedition brought with it. The hope of a full stomach, the hope of a lighter step, the hope of another day. You might wonder how they managed to stay sane in such a desolate place. How did they grapple with the mental toll of their ordeal, the isolation, the fear, the loneliness? The answer lies in their humanity, their capacity for adaptation, and their indomitable spirit. They formed bonds of camaraderie, drawing strength from their shared experiences, their fears, and their dreams. They sang songs, told stories, and shared memories of the past, creating a sense of normalcy in the midst of the extraordinary. They talked about their families, their loved ones waiting back home, and they dreamed of the day when they would reunite. Ernest Shackleton, the leader of this extraordinary tale, exhibited qualities that continue to inspire awe. His strategic brilliance, his physical prowess, and his unwavering optimism were instrumental in guiding his crew through the harrowing ordeal. Let us take a moment to delve deeper into the man whose leadership was a guiding light in the darkest hours of the Antarctic night. Born in Ireland in 1874, Shackleton's adventurous spirit was evident from an early age. He started working at sea at the age of 16, and by the time he turned 26, he had circumnavigated the globe. But his thirst for adventure knew no bounds. In 1901, he joined an expedition to the South Pole under the leadership of Captain Robert Falcon Scott, where he played a pivotal role in helping the team reach the magnetic South Pole. Shackleton's reputation as an explorer was on the rise, but his ambition was far from satiated. In 1908, he led the Nimrod expedition to Antarctica, which achieved several milestones. Shackleton and his crew reached the farthest point south at the time, 88 degrees south latitude. They also conducted the first land crossing of Antarctica from the Weddell Sea to McMurdo Sound. Shackleton's name was now synonymous with courage, determination, and leadership in the world of polar exploration. And then came the Trans-Antarctic Expedition, his most ambitious endeavor yet. His plan was audacious: to lead a team across the entire continent of Antarctica, a feat that had never been done before. The goal was to reach the Ross Sea via the South Pole, covering approximately 3,500 miles on foot and by dog sled. But fate had other plans. The Endurance, the ship that was supposed to pick them up at the appointed rendezvous, failed to arrive on schedule. Shackleton and his crew were now stranded in an unforgiving environment, dependent on the unpredictable whims of nature. Despite the grim circumstances, Shackleton's leadership shone through. He kept his crew together, making sure that they were fed, that their spirits were high, and that they never lost hope. When the Endurance finally reached the ice-jammed Weddell Sea and became trapped, Shackleton knew that they were in for a long haul. Instead of panicking, he devised a plan. He instructed the crew to cache food and supplies on the ice, knowing that if they were forced to abandon ship, they would have something to sustain them. When the Endurance eventually sank, Shackleton's foresight proved invaluable. The cached supplies became a lifeline, ensuring that the men had something to fall back on. Even after the ship sank and the men were forced to camp on the ice floes, Shackleton's leadership continued to guide them. He organized shifts for hunting, keeping a lookout and maintaining the camp. He rationed the supplies carefully, making sure that everyone had enough to stay alive. Throughout the ordeal, Shackleton's optimism never wavered. He kept reminding his crew that they would be rescued, that this too would come to an end. And wouldn't that make an incredible story to tell back home? Shackleton's belief in his crew's ability to endure was a driving force that kept them going. When the time came for the perilous journey across the southern ice desert to Elephant Island, Shackleton's strategic mind was crucial. He selected the strongest and healthiest men for the journey, ensuring that they had the best chance of survival. He also made sure that they were well equipped with the right tools and provisions. Upon reaching Elephant Island, Shackleton established a base camp and organized the men into 3 groups. He decided to lead one of the groups to try and reach a whaling station on the nearby South Georgia Island, a distance of approximately 720 miles. On April 24, 1916, Shackleton, along with 2 other men, set off in a small boat called the James Caird. The journey was fraught with danger. Storms, freezing temperatures, and the constant threat of capsizing loomed over them. Yet Shackleton and his crew persevered, driven by the hope of rescue. After 17 days of battling the elements, they were finally spotted, and a search party was sent to assist them. Shackleton's journey had come full circle. He had reached safety, and with him, the hope of rescuing the remaining men on Elephant Island. Returning to Elephant Island with supplies and reinforcements, Shackleton and his crew successfully rescued the remaining men, bringing them back to South Georgia. All 28 men who had embarked on the perilous journey across Antarctica survived, a testament to Shackleton's leadership, resilience, and unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit. Ernest Shackleton's story is a shining example of what the human spirit is capable of. His leadership, courage, and determination saved the lives of every man under his command. As you reflect on his extraordinary journey, ask yourself, what would you have done if you were one of those men stranded in the icy grip of the Antarctic? Would you have survived 2 years trapped in the ice? Your answer might surprise you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more captivating content. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.